Hello, welcome back to Unrun Hooked. This is gonna be the 3-week update of the chicks. Been a little busy, so I couldn't get all their progress very good. But they're all pretty unrecognizable now. This is gonna be my rooster. I got one rooster for sure. This is my little bantam. Turns out my bantams are gonna be frizzles. And that means that their feathers turn up and they flip around. And I'm not sure what's going on with his head. I don't know if it's a Polish or what. He's also got the feathers on his feet, so he must be some kind of mix or something, I don't know. So these guys are getting ready for bed. It's the rooster. I named him Roger. Oh, this one is always the first one out. Always likes to be held. I named this one Belle. She got some bell bottoms. They're right. So here's Roger. I don't know what breed he is yet. Looks like he's gonna be brown. You can see he's got the comb, it's big and red, and the little wattles underneath. They're bigger than the other ones. What? What do you want now? What? I think it's this one that's the same breed. And her comb is real yellow. This is a lot redder. He looks like a rooster. What are you guys doing, huh? These are the first ones that always come out. Spets. I haven't named this one yet, even though it's the friendly one. I haven't named you either. It's weird. All of them have names. There's Lacey. You wanna come out, Lacey? Stay away. What's up, Lacey? How's it going? Come here, sweetheart. Oh yeah. You wanna be on video? There's little Lacey. So she's my other bantam. She's gonna be a frizzle too. I think she might be a Cochin bantam. But then Spets, I don't know what he's gonna be. Like maybe he's Spetsheim. That's why I named him Spets originally. But that still doesn't explain his feet. So who knows? I think that one's gonna be a black Astralorp. So I named her Astro. Let me put you back in there, Lacey, so you don't jump and hurt yourself. She's barely starting to feather out. Spets is the same age as her, same bantam. He's fully feathered, pretty much. She's barely just getting her feathers in. She was a runt. Don't hurt yourself, Lacey. Come here. You want out again? Sometimes the chickens jump and they'll hurt themselves on the wire. Don't pet me. I think it was this one that got kind of caught up on the wire, hurt her wing. It kind of bled a little bit. I had to clean her up. I know the chickens peck at wounds that other chickens get, so I wanted to make sure there's no visible carnage. So I try to do this every day and just hang out with them and kind of touch them and pet them. So I try to tame them a little bit. Hey, Spets. Get them used to everything. Some of these guys don't like to interact too much. You usually want to come out, but you must be tired, huh? That one hurt her leg a while ago, so I was holding her all the time, so she got real friendly. Hey. But some kind of standoffish. This one's kind of standoffish. They let you touch them and stuff, but most of the time they're not outstanding like Spets. First one out of the cage. Astra's always wanting to get out and explore. I got one I named Django. This one right here with the black beak. Animal black beak. Because whenever I take them out in the yard, she's always the last one I can catch. She's Django Unchained. What are you doing, Lacey? So Lacey's gonna be a pretty white chicken. Hey, where are you going? Where are you going, Lacey? She's gonna be a little tiny chicken. What's going on, Astra? So Astra's gonna be kind of tan a little bit, a little brown. So that's gonna be convenient because the Houston Astros are orange. So that'll make sense a little bit. So these guys are kind of getting a little big. I have 11 chickens. They're getting a little big for this cage. They can't really stand up completely very good without hitting their heads. Like whenever they perch on something, they have to be squatting. And they're always so excited to get out of the cage. These ones especially that are out of the cage. And the first thing they do is they just spread their wings and start flapping and act like they don't get enough room in there. So I do try to take them out every day. Today's kind of rainy, so that's why I'm letting them crawl around on top a little bit. Oh. Lacey holds her own. She has to be in the... Spets, what are you doing? See, this is where the chickens get hurt. They jump onto the places where there's just random wire and they get caught up on it. Spets is a champ. He can fly. That little thing is light. He's got big wings. Where you going, Lacey? I got a little perch in there, a little piece of wood, 2x4. And they all fight over it at night trying to sleep on it. So I'm thinking I need to get a little bit more so they can all perch on it. So I would think this cage would be good for maybe 6 to 8 chickens. But I think 11's kind of pushing it, especially at 3 weeks. I think it's time for them to get a little bit bigger of a cage. But I'm still working on their chicken coop. I don't think they're quite ready for a chicken coop. They still need to get fully feathered. They still got a little fuzz on their neck. I think once that's gone, they look like actual chickens, and it'll be good to go outside. I know they're ready for it. It's almost summertime. Well, it just turned spring. I shouldn't say it's almost summertime. It's springtime. They're ready to go outside. It's warm here in Texas. And they're right, chickies. My little chickies. I need to name you. You're so friendly. All right, well, I'm over at the chicken coop now. Zoomed in really close for some reason. So I just got done putting the roof on the nesting box. It's gonna have 11 chickens in here, so I made it kind of big. It's 4 by maybe 8, I think, 6 or 8, I'm not sure. It's been a while since I framed it. So I just cut one piece. I made it all fit with one piece. I had a couple pieces left to spare. I just used these metal shears. They worked real good to slice the plastic. Next I'm gonna put trim on all the seams and stuff, and on the corners it's gonna have the trim right there. I'm still working on the man door. It's gonna be a double door. And then I have the litter dump right here at the bottom. So you'll open the double doors, and then you'll drop the bottom, and then you'll be able to pull out all the shavings and stuff. It's kind of a mess in here right now, but it's the inside view. I got 2 windows in the front and 1 big one in the back. I was debating putting windows on the front because I heard that you don't want windows across from the nesting boxes. I have 4 nesting boxes, but I have this big one right now for my tools. But the front of it just looked funny without windows on it, and I figured just these roof eaves weren't enough for ventilation for them. And I was also going to have a plexiglass on that whole window because I'm going to finish framing it out. And this piece. So I have plexiglass in the middle, and it'll be on a hinge, and I'll have like a chain or something hanging, and I'll be able to prop the window open on hot days. But for the most part, it'll be closed. Like, it's time for bedtime for the chickens. So here's the front. I'm gonna put trim around the windows and everything, and on the sides, on the bottom. It's gonna be all trimmed out soon. I just got this chicken door the other day, and I got it installed. It's the Maddie Coops, I believe. And it's pretty exciting. When it came in, it came with 2 free water bowls, like the ones that you hook up to a water system. So that was pretty cool. And so when I got over here to install it, I noticed that I have it, the hole was too big for the door. And where these cuts are right now, that's how big it was originally. And there was no way I could screw it in. So what I did was I had to put bracing. I'll show you on the inside. I had to add bracing on the frame, and that's where the door is screwed into on these 2 slivers. And I did it like that so I could keep it centered in the middle, because having these windows, you'll notice if it's to one side or the other. So, and while I was doing that, I figured, well, I guess I'll inlay it so I won't have to make a spacer in there. So I just cut the bottom a little bit and made it almost flush to the actual bottom. And there's still lots of room up at the top. It could have been taller, could have been wider too. So my big complaint is I don't think it's that big. It's not that big of an opening. So I hope my chickens don't get too wide and I'll be able to pass through here. But anyway, I think it's really cool design, and the main reason I got this door was it has a safety mechanism. I gotta hold the button. So if a chicken is sitting in the doorway or something and it doesn't get out of the way in time, this door will open back up. I've heard a lot of stories about these automatic doors killing chickens because they'll be looking out, and I guess they don't want to go inside yet, and then they get guillotined by it. So I thought that was really good design. So I did have to put a little bit of a spacer, so really zoomed in. I did have to put a little bit of a spacer behind the top so that the door will slide up out of the siding. Just a tiny little bit of a gap. I think I want to put a little bit more of a spacer in there so that there's no rubbing, and that should be good. So the sun is behind the chicken coop, if you can see. Yeah, so the light sensor is not going to be very accurate, so I think I'm just going to have to use the timer and maybe do like, I don't know, 6 to maybe 8. I think that'd be good times. So gotta finish up that door, and I think we're pretty. And I gotta finish up that window, and we're gonna paint the whole thing red. I got the paint already, hoping it's gonna be a little darker. We're gonna do a couple more coats of it, and we're going for the barn look. So we're gonna have red for all the plywood and stuff, and then all the trim pieces that are gonna be on the corners and stuff and along all the seams, that's all gonna be white. I think I'm even gonna do the legs white, or maybe I'll just leave them the color that they are. I'm sorry, I'm having a hiccup fit. And maybe I'll leave these are all pressure treated, so maybe I'll just leave those the color that they are. But I'm gonna put trim around the windows in the front, and then I'm gonna have shutters. We're gonna go to the sides. I was thinking about that actually. Maybe I shouldn't do it to the sides because the door's there, but maybe I can just put little stoppers on each side so that when it opens, it'll stop and it won't hit the door. Maybe that's what I'll do. So it's coming together. It still looks a little bare, but I'm going to trim it out, and I hope the chickens like it. I'm gonna frame in the bottom, just have like pieces going down along the bottom so that things can't dig in and stuff. And I'm gonna have the front side open, and this is all gonna be their chicken yard all the way to that tree, and probably gonna be as wide as that first board right there at the corner. And that's gonna be their chicken run. I'm gonna have it pretty much all the way up to that side of the shed, and then have a roof coming down off of that roof. So it should stay pretty dry in there. I'm also gonna bring a bunch of gravel in. I'm gonna dig up all this dirt and get it all loose and put a bunch of sandy gravel in there and kind of mix it up and mix up some dirt with it and stuff. So hopefully it'll stay up out of the water. It's kind of low over here, so I'm trying to build it up a little bit. So that's the project. I'm trying to get this chicken coop done before I start the yard, because chickens need somewhere to live before they have somewhere to play. So this all started just building those nesting boxes, and I started building the frame, and now I'm building it for a long time. Feels like it's been a long time. Truck on the road. But it's pretty much mostly all just been scrap pieces of wood, except for the pressure treated 4x4s and the 2x4s on the ceiling. Everything else has just been scrap. I got all this plywood. Somebody was throwing it away in my neighborhood. So I'm not really into it too deep, expensive wise, but I also got this roof for free. I just had to buy this one sheet for the nesting boxes, but the rest of that I got all that for free because I took down a it's like a little horse, just a little cover for them to keep them out of the sun. So that's my design. I'm gonna have the man door on the side, and then that's all just gonna be the front run right there, and then you can access the eggs from the driveway right here, and then I'm gonna have the feeders and the waters along the back of that chicken run right there. And I'm even thinking I'm going to have a man door between the chicken coop and the shed, where you can just open something. There's already a frame here, and just open a little door, walk in, and maybe even have a roof going from there to here, and then that'll go with the roof I'm gonna have for the chicken run. And I know this roof is I tried to make it short enough so that it'll be lower than that shed so I can connect them. But it's gonna be a little funky when I have all the roof and stuff connect. But hopefully it'll be okay. So next time I show you guys this thing, it's gonna look a lot prettier, I hope. So thanks for watching, and adios.